Amira is fighting for the right to have a home birth.
Baš nešto krupno. Prekidanje generacijski nečega što se dešavalo i nova epoha za porode.
Women in the Balkan region are routinely exposed to brutal treatment in hospital during pregnancy and childbirth, and they are demanding change.
Svezali su mi ruke i noge i započeli su proces kiretaže na živo bez anestezije.
Iznosite i dovodite me u vrlo neugodnu situaciju.
The United Nations has uncovered the scale of the abuse.
Violence against women in childbirth is so normalized that it is not yet considered violence against women.
To protect herself, Amira's hired a foreign midwife who's taking a risk to help her deliver the baby at home.
If the police came and said, "Who are you? What are you doing?" hopefully reasonableness will prevail.
Can Amira reclaim one of her life's most important moments? Sarajevo, Bosnia and Herzegovina.
Zdravo.
Amira Cherrymagic is a doctor and an activist for reproductive rights. She's preparing for the arrival of her fourth child.
Izvolite. Da vidimo ove vrećice i nešto za bebu. Evo, ako imamo tu vrećicu za spavanje.
She wants to have a home birth, but in Bosnia and Herzegovina, that's not an option.
A šta ćemo za bebu? Hoćemo li vrećicu ili ovo? Imamo i ovako.
The health system here only allows births in hospitals.
Ćao. Ajmo do auta, ajmo stavljamo.
Bosnia and Herzegovina is one of Europe's poorest countries. Its healthcare system was destroyed by the Bosnian War in the 90s. 30% of medical staff were lost, and today the system remains underfunded and understaffed. But although hospital births are safe in this country, hundreds of women say they've experienced mistreatment and violence in state maternity wards. Amira is one of them.
Nisam mislila nikad za sebe da ću doći do toga da želim kućni porod. Imala sam historiju porađanja ranije, dakle 3 poroda. Prošla sam sve što se nudilo faktički u državi. Meni lično je način komunikacije. Onda sam zahtijevala slobodan položaj gdje sam se fizički gurala sa babicom koja me gurala da legnem. Ja sam govorila neću leći. Taj psihički dio i mentalni dio je apsolutno zapostavljen. Mogu slobodno reći, prvi mi je porođaj bio psihička trauma i meni i suprugu. To nije porod.
Jeste, mami stavila Safija. Evo ih. Bravo, daj zelenu samo. Dobro, ajmo dobro. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Allahumme barik lena fima.
A home birth can be as safe as a hospital birth for women like Amira, who have straightforward pregnancies and who are having their second or subsequent child.
Šta ti misliš, je muško ili žensko beba?
Muško.
Čuj.
Ako bude muško ko ti, onda nek bude muško.
Šta vas je krenulo?
Through activism and working as a doctor, Amira knows the health system well. But although she feels empowered by the idea of a home birth, her husband Elmir still has some doubts.
Imaš li ti treme?
Ja, imam. Uteža mi je najviše sad trema.
Ozbiljno?
Pa eto, zato što je neobično i drugačije odnosno na svakidašnji dosad protokol.
Šta radiš kad te pitaju, džeću?
Ne pričam na tu temu. Kažem samo amirne procedure.
In a home birth that takes place within a health system, a midwife is present throughout the labour. But while in many other European countries midwives are trained to work independently, here they can't make clinical decisions without the approval of a doctor.
Babice ovdje kod nas su obučene da rade u bolnici, znači gdje su i ljekari i akušeri prisutni na tom porodu, gdje akušer je taj, ljekar je taj koji prati tog poroda. S obzirom da nemamo adekvatno medicinsko osoblje koje će pokrivati poroda van bolničkih uslova, zaista mislim da je sigurniji porod u bolnici. Ne da mislim, nego to je sigurno tako.
In countries where home births are allowed, only around 1 or 2% of women choose them. But in some places, the pandemic has made them more popular. In neighbouring Croatia, home births are up by almost a third.
U Bosni i Hercegovini velika većina beba se rađa u bolničkim uslovima. Zaista nema podataka u kućnim porodima. Do takvih podataka, s obzirom da u Bosni i Hercegovini još uvijek nije definisan zakon da se uopšte može kućni porod dešavati u našoj zemlji. Te porode se dešavaju svugdje u svijetu. Dešavaju se i kod nas, naravno, ali baš iz tog razloga, zato što neke žene zaista imaju takvu želju. Da ne bi uskratili pravo tih žena, moramo im obezbijediti uslove, jer bez uslova samo rizikujemo i život žene i život te novorođenčeta.
But for Amira, having her baby at home is her best chance of avoiding another traumatic birth.
Sad dan D.
The family is getting the living room ready.
Dobro, pusti sad, kako je čuvala čisto. Je li ovo dobro, ženo? Je li dobro, Amira? Je li zadovoljna? Dođate na zagrli, dođi. Bježe ti, mali izvrk.
Earlier in her pregnancy, Amira wrote to a hospital to register her wishes to have a home birth and to ask for a midwife to assist her.
Evo, završavamo. Eto ga. Evo odgovor kliničkog centra vezano za zahtjev kojim tražite asistiranje porođaja kod kuće. Odbijaju u principu. Pa očekivano je odbijanje bilo. Mislim, prvo bio bi presedan da su prihvatili, što bi značilo onda da ako je moj zahtjev prihvaćen, onda svaka žena koja želi porođaj kod kuće samo pošalje isti zahtjev. Što bi onda značilo da se to sprovede regularno u praksu.
With no support from the state, Amira is worried she won't be able to find a midwife. But she knows there are women who've arranged home births outside the health system.
Salam, Janita.
Janita is one of them.
Alaikum salam, Amira.
Kako si počela uopšte? Si imala s kim konsultovati?
Nisam mogla naći za konsultacije. Saznala sam da mi je jedina opcija angažovati babicu iz druge zemlje.
Je se pokajala?
Apsolutno se nisam pokajala. Ispalo je baš onako kako sam očekivala i zamišljala u svakom segmentu.
A reci mi, okolina kako reaguje, kako je to ispalo sa ljudima, porodicom?
Tu trebaš biti jako pažljiva, to je moj savjet. Za moj plan poroda kući to znale samo 3 osobe. Nažalost, naša svijest u vezi toga je još uvijek na nivou da je žena koja se porađa objekat, a ne subjekat svog poroda. Nakon što su saznali da sam se kući porodila, većina, mislim, za neke sam bila heroj, ali za većinu onako budala.
Onda me isto očekuje. Hvala ti puno, Janita.
Nema na čemu.
Amira may be planning this birth in secret, but she's not alone. She's one of thousands of women in many countries across the Balkan region who have come together demanding an end to abusive pregnancy care. It started in 2018 when in neighbouring Croatia, MP Ivana Ninčević-Lesandrić made a speech in Parliament.
Nedavno sam završila na hitnoj zbog spontanog pobačaja u 3. mjesecu trudnoće. Svezali su mi ruke i noge i započeli su proces kiretaže na živo bez anestezije. Dakle, struganje maternice, unutarnjeg organa, na živo, bez anestezije. To je bilo mojih 30 najmučnijih minuta u mom životu. 30 minuti, ja bi vam svaku sekundu mogla prepričati jer je trajala vječnost. After that, I came home and I told my husband what happened to me, and I Googled it because I just at that moment I wanted to see is there any chance that this happened to someone else, and then I saw that it's something that is normal. It's happening to everyone in 2080.
Ivana Ninčević-Lesandrić stood up and used the word uterus, pain, and painful procedure in Croatian parliament.
Daniela Drandic from the Croatian campaigning organisation Parents in Action had begun to collect testimonies from women experiencing violence in hospitals.
When we think of maternity services, we think of happy mothers and beautiful little babies. But what we weren't thinking about was many of the human rights violations that were happening behind those closed doors. Unfortunately, this is something that is quite normal in Croatia and throughout the region. And it's something that Ivana put on the table. She shone a very striking light on it.
Izvolite.
U hrvatskim bolnicama ne radi se na taj način. Pa ako hoćete, nekad mi dostavite medicinsku dokumentaciju pa ću vidjeti o čemu se radi.
Govori neistinu. Dakle, ovo što ste vi rekli da se ne radi na taj način, radi se jer sam ja to doživjela i 1000 žena vam je potpisalo peticiju samo za Petrovu bolnicu.
Kolegice Lesandrić-Ninčević.
Molim vas, nemojte lagati, nego napravite nešto da se ovo promijeni.
Ja vas molim.
Ja vam ovo zaista, pa pročitajte samo na Google peticiju i otvorena pisma. Ispričavam se.
Dobro, nemojte, sad jednu vrlo intimnu stvar iznosite i dovodite me u vrlo neugodnu situaciju.
I mean, what I and all of these women should say about our awkward situation. You have a person here coming to you and telling you what she experienced, and I'm telling it to you because I want things to change.
On the back of Ivana's speech, women started using the hashtag #BreakTheSilence to expose abusive treatment during gynecological procedures.
45 minutes of stitching with no anesthesia. I don't want to have more children ever again.
The nurses in the labor room called me a cow, an awful mother, an idiot.
They performed a surgical miscarriage with no anesthesia and without informing me.
They forced me to have another cesarean section.
They told me I would kill my baby if I did not agree to an induction. The doctor asked me why I had screwed. I felt and feel abused.
We really started asking each other, is this type of behavior or this type of care acceptable on other wards in a hospital? And the resounding conclusion from that was that it wasn't acceptable.
The health minister of Croatia changed in 2020. And although there haven't been any law changes criminalising this type of violence, the social media movement has broken down taboos.
Violence against women in childbirth is so normalized that it is not yet considered violence against women.
In 2019, the United Nations Special Rapporteur for Violence Against Women, Dubravka Šimonović, investigated the extent of this type of violence and spoke about her findings in the General Assembly.
New social movements like Break the Silence have shed light on the patterns of mistreatment and violence that women suffer, demonstrating that mistreatment and violence during childbirth is widespread and ingrained in health systems all over the world.
I dan danas je to prisutno. Dakle, dok god se i dalje dešava, bez nekih posljedica pravnih, zašto se to uopšte desilo, ne možemo reći da smo napredovali i da smo unaprijedili čitav zdravstveni sistem.
To protect herself from being mistreated in hospital, Amir has found a British midwife to help with the birth.
Paul je stigao, Sarajevo i idemo da ga dočekamo smještaj gdje ćemo biti. Uzbuđena sam jer se trebamo upoznati. Iako smo se čuli i pričali.
As well as paying Paul's fees, she's rented an apartment for him for 3 weeks.
Bukvalno, dakle, skupljala za ovaj porod. Iznos je kao jedna manja svadba. Hello, welcome.
Hi, Amira.
Please enter.
Finally, thank you.
Yes.
But this is about so much more than money.
Amira, we meet in person, yes.
For Amira, it's about regaining control of the process of birth.
How are you feeling today? How's baby and how are you?
I'm feeling every night when I go to bed, I think this is it. And I was glad Paul is in Bosnia. Okay.
I'm here for you. I'm your midwife. That means I'm on your journey. It is your journey. And I just come with you on that journey.
Later that day, Paul follows Amira home to meet her family.
Well, I'm quite relaxed about following the woman's choice wherever she is.
Because home births are unregulated by law, Paul is also taking a risk.
People might challenge our authority. Why are we here? Why are we providing for home birth? If the police came and said, who are you? What are you doing? And they take your laptop, your phone, and even take you to an interview at the police station, and hopefully reasonableness will prevail.
Although home births can be both rewarding and safe, emergencies can happen. Despite all the preparations, Amira has a 1 in 10 chance of having to go to hospital during labour. But with no guarantee of an ambulance, it would be Paul and Elmir's job to get her there.
Yeah, we can turn the water on, like for the shower, and undo the shower and put the hose and bring it to here.
Ah, okay,
Yeah.
I understand.
Yeah.
I understand.
Paul is doing a practice run of the birth with Elmir.
I've seen some women...
Inside is only Amira.
Yeah,
You
but it's
and
possible for the husband can get in if you...
No, I don't want to go
But
inside. But
sometimes the woman just needs to lean back and she needs the man behind her. Sometimes.
Okay.
So...
Paul trenutno je, ja mislim, nije obnovio licencu. Kad sam čula da ima iskustva rada u intenzivnoj, neonatalnoj intenzivnoj, meni je to bilo isto dosta prevarnulo.
Paul has worked on 5 different continents, enabling hundreds of women to have home births.
I have one question. In all this process, who is the boss in this process, you or somebody else?
Well, the woman is always the boss. She's the decision maker, but I will give very strong, very clear advice if anything is a worry.
Yeah, but I know her, and she always pushed to the limits.
Yeah.
And I want to know if you recognize some bad signs.
Yeah,
signs.
for sure. If I saw any concern with mother or baby, I'm very clear. Very, very clear about it.
So you will decide in moment when will we go in the hospital?
Yes, if you needed to transfer, I would say you need to transfer now. However, it's still Elmira's choice because
Okay.
the woman
So
makes
you
the
listen
decision.
Okay, but I ask if you recognize the bad sign.
I would recognise the
in
bad
that-
signs,
okay.
yes, yes.
Okay.
And I'm always giving you the information, I'm very honest, and I might seem very gentle, but I'm actually very strong when it's very important.
So, okay,
Yeah.
I understand.
Imamo pridružen nam se mali Mustafa. Nije mali, rođen je kao krupna beba od 4,5 kile. Ono što ću uvijek pamtiti je da je ovo zaista porod gdje sam imala osjećaj da je moj, da ja vodim. Podigla sam svoju bebu iz bazena, iz vode. To je baš nekako posebno.
Moje mišljenje se u potpunosti izmijenilo o porodu u kući u odnosu na onog mišljenja koje sam imao prije ovog poroda. Kad mi je Amira rekla da se želi poroditi u kući, odmah sam se vratio na mišljenje, to se dešavalo prije dosta stoljeća u kućama, idemo unazad. I kad vidim koliko je Mira bila sretna nakon ovog poroda, mislim da treba majkama omogućiti da one se porađaju gdje hoće i kako hoće.
Amira was able to give birth in the way she wanted. And now she's campaigning for change in the health system.
Zdravo Irma, Sabina. Amira je.
She's hired lawyers and is taking the government to court to make it easier for others to choose home birth. For Amira, this is only the beginning.
Baš nešto krupno, ne mogu sad ni da... Bilo bi prekidanje nečeg, mislim historijskog, prekidanje generacijski nečega što se dešavalo i nova epoha za porode.
We approached the institutions Amira requested a midwife from. They sent us the following statements. Domestic legislation does not regulate this area, and the staff does not provide home birth services. We also approached the Ministry of Health of Bosnia and Herzegovina, but they didn't reply.
Svakako da je Mustafin porod ulio nadu. Ako se borimo za kućne porode, uvijek osvrnemo se dugoročno da je to nešto što želimo našoj djeci.